The first time I saw her face, I knew two things. I wanted her, and I was going to regret it. It was 1:07 a.m., the hour where logic sleeps and bad decisions feel like destiny. One more swipe, I told myself. Just one. Then she appeared. Elena. One photo, not the usual carousel of vacation shots and dog selfies. She stood on a weathered balcony, city lights blurred behind her, lips curled in a half-smile that looked almost dangerous. Her first message hit before I could decide if I'd send one. I like your taste in music. She'd found the hidden playlist in my bio. Hardly anyone ever noticed that. For the next 2 hours, we traded pieces of ourselves. She'd moved here for work, hated loud bars, loved thunderstorms, claimed she could make the world's best hot chocolate. When she finally sent a second photo, my pulse kicked. It was flawless. Not influencer flawless, but intentional, like a film still. The lighting kissed her face just right. The background was empty, too perfect. A thought flickered. This is staged. I remembered a friend once telling me, if you're not sure someone's real, run their pictures through social catfish. It'll tell you if they've been stolen. The idea crossed my mind for half a second. Then she sent, can't sleep? Want to keep talking? I didn't just want to, I needed to. By 4:30 a.m., my phone was warm in my hand. My cheeks hurt from smiling at nothing, and I'd convinced myself she was different. Before I crashed, I sent a sleepy goodnight. She didn't reply. But when I woke up, there it was. A single message. No text. Just an audio file.
The audio file was only 6 seconds long. I hesitated, thumb hovering over the play button, wondering why she hadn't just said good morning like everyone else. I pressed it. Thought you might like to hear me, she said. Her voice was soft, low, every syllable perfectly measured. There was no background noise, no traffic, no hum of a fridge, nothing. Like she'd recorded it inside a vacuum. I played it again and again. By the third time, I realized I was smiling like an idiot. We talked all day after that. Her replies were instant, no typing pause, as if she already knew what I was going to say. I told her about a coffee shop I liked. She told me she'd been there once and could still taste the cinnamon in the air. That was strange. The place didn't serve cinnamon anything, but I let it go. That night, she sent me another photo, her sitting cross-legged on the floor reading. The book's title was blurred, but the lighting was identical to her other pictures. Same warm tones, same faint glow at the edges. I caught myself thinking about what my friend James once said. If you're going to get serious with someone you meet online, at least verify them. Social catfish, been verified, 2 clicks saves you a lifetime of headaches. But the thing is, I didn't want to find a lie. I wanted her to be real. By the end of the week, she was part of my day. We had morning texts and night check-ins. She'd send photos of her tea, I'd send pictures of my dinner. One evening, she asked me to tell her about my first heartbreak. When I finished, she stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then she said something that made my chest tighten. I think I'd like to be your last first date. It was the kind of line you want to believe. And I almost did. Until, just before midnight, another audio file arrived. This one was longer, slower, and halfway through, I heard something behind her voice, faint, like breathing. Except, it matched mine. I replayed the audio file 3 times before I was sure. The faint breathing under her voice, it was in rhythm with mine. Not just matching, it felt recorded. At first, I laughed it off. Maybe she'd called me while I was on a voice note once and my mic caught it. But we'd never spoken live, only texts and these perfectly timed audio files. I typed, "Weird question, how do you record your voice so clean?" She replied instantly, "Magic." The words sat on the screen like a dare. That night, I couldn't sleep. I scrolled through our chat history, rereading every message, every emoji. Something clicked. She never sent a voice note in the middle of a conversation, always hours later, always when I was alone. The next morning, James called. I told him about Elena, careful to leave out the weird breathing. "Sounds like you're smitten," he said. "Just don't ignore the basics. At least video chatter, or do a reverse image search. Ben Verified's cheap, and it pulls up more than just social accounts." I promised I'd think about it. I didn't. Instead, I messaged her, "Want to meet this weekend?" She sent back a heart emoji. Then, "Soon, promise, but I'm traveling for work right now." That night, I woke up at 2:14 a.m. to my phone buzzing. A new audio file. Her voice was different this time. Warmer, slower, almost like she'd been whispering in my ear while I slept. "I can't stop thinking about you," she said. And under it, just for a moment, I heard my own laugh. From a conversation we'd had days ago. Hey, if you like such tense, real-life stories like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, it's about to get worse. I told myself it was just late-night overthinking. People breathe, mics pick it up. Nothing weird about that, right? Except it kept happening. Every few nights, a new voice file. Always when I was half asleep, phone on the nightstand. She'd talk about missing me, dreaming of me, wanting to meet. And always, under her words, something familiar. A cough I'd made days ago, a word I'd stumbled over. One Friday, she sent a selfie from her hotel room. It was gorgeous. Big windows, warm light, perfectly framed. The kind of photo you'd expect in a travel magazine. "Where are you?" I typed. She replied, "Paris." No hesitation, just Paris. I didn't question it. Why would I? She told me about the view of the Seine, the smell of coffee in the morning, everything you'd expect. We texted until my lunch break ended. I put my phone down for maybe an hour. When I checked again, she'd sent another message. "Hey, I hate to ask, but my card's locked. The hotel needs payment for the next night." I froze. It wasn't a huge amount. Barely what I'd spend on dinner out. James's voice came back to me. "Scammers start small, so you say yes without thinking." I typed, "Can you call the bank?" She replied instantly. "Already did. They said it'll take 2 days. I don't want to lose my room, and it's late here." There was a pause. Then another audio file came through. Her voice trembled. "I thought you cared about me." And that's how she got me. Not through logic, through emotion. I sent the money. It felt like nothing at the time. It was only later I'd realize, if I'd stopped right there, I would have lost $50. Instead, I lost everything. After that night, everything shifted. She messaged me more. Morning, noon, midnight. Always awake when I was. Always ready with the perfect reply. I'd tell her about a rough meeting at work, and she'd respond like she'd been in the room. "That guy in accounting? He always talks over you, right?" I never told her about him. Not by name. Not even in passing. Sometimes she'd send these little voice notes. Giggles, sighs, even humming the tune I'd had stuck in my head earlier that day. It didn't feel creepy then. It felt like fate.
But James noticed something. He glanced at my phone one evening and frowned. "You know she's texted you over 200 times this week, right?" I laughed it off. He didn't. "Man, you should at least check who she is. Reverse image search, social catfish, been verified, stuff like that. I've seen people get burned." I told him I didn't need to. I knew her. Except I didn't. The second ask came a week later. She said she was moving money between accounts and needed to use mine as a temporary pass-through. Just for a day, she said. Just a quick transfer. She even sent me screenshots of what looked like bank confirmations. Professional looking, crisp logos. My gut whispered no, but her next voice note made it impossible to say it. She sounded hurt, vulnerable. "You don't trust me, do you?" I typed, deleted, retyped, and while I stared at the blinking cursor, another thought hit me. If she had this much access to my conversations, my moods, what else did she have? That night, I downloaded Aura, James's suggestion again. Within minutes, it flagged 2 breaches with my email. Passwords I hadn't changed in years were floating around on the dark web. It was the first time I felt the weight of how much she might know, and the first time I realized love shouldn't feel like surveillance. Still, I didn't block her, because the very next morning, she sent me a picture. Her in a cafe, eyes locked on the camera, holding a coffee cup with my name on it. It was like she was telling me, we're meant to be. And if I'd been smart, I would have walked away right there. Instead, I let her pull me in deeper.
It was a Thursday night when she called. Not texted, not sent a voice note, an actual video call request. My chest pounded. I'd been asking for this for weeks. I swiped to accept. The screen flickered, glitched, and froze on a single frame of her smiling. Then the call dropped. A message followed immediately. "Sorry, bad connection. But listen, I need you. It's urgent." The words made my stomach twist. She told me she was stuck overseas, her passport confiscated until a processing fee was paid. Her voice, soft, breaking, made it sound like she was barely holding it together. I asked why she couldn't call her family. She said they disowned her, that I was all she had. Then she said it. "If you can't help me, I don't know what I'll do. I can't be here alone." It wasn't just a request anymore. It was emotional blackmail wrapped in desperation. I thought about calling the embassy for her. She brushed it off. "Too slow. Please, just this once more." And here's where I have to pause. Not in real life, but for you, watching this right now. If someone you've never met in person starts asking for money, favors, or access to accounts, stop. Take 30 seconds to reverse search their photos on Social Catfish or Been Verified. It can save you from months or years of damage. I wish I'd done it then. Instead, I wired her the money. She promised she'd call as soon as she was safe. I stayed up all night staring at my phone. The call never came.
I woke up to silence. No texts, no calls. Just an empty inbox where her constant messages used to be. At first, I told myself she was traveling back. Maybe she'd surprise me. By noon, that hope was gone. Her dating app profile had vanished. Our chat history? Deleted. It was like she'd never existed. That's when James came over. He didn't say, "I told you so." He just sat down, took my phone, and opened Social Catfish. Within seconds, her pictures popped up, dozens of them, not under her name, not even one name. They were stock AI-generated images, scattered across fake profiles from New York to Singapore. Different names, same face. I felt my throat tighten. Everything, her voice, her timing, her perfect replies, it all hit me at once. She wasn't her. She wasn't anyone. James explained how AI models can clone voices from a few seconds of audio, how chatbots can study your messages and learn your style until they sound like your soulmate.
And I had given this thing my trust, my secrets, my money. But I needed to know how deep it went. We ran my email through Bora's breach scanner again and found new alerts. 2 of my bank logins had been accessed from overseas IPs just hours ago. She hadn't just taken the money I sent, she was inside everything. I remember gripping the table, asking James, "How do I get her out?" And that's when he looked at me, serious, steady, and said, "First, you need to understand, you weren't talking to a person at all." If you're watching this, remember, scams like this don't just steal your heart, they steal you. In the next part, I'll show you the exact AI trick that hooked me and how you can spot it before it's too late. Make sure to subscribe.
James and I dug in, tracing every pixel of every Emma photo through reverse search tools. The truth surfaced in less than an hour. The images weren't stolen from one woman's account. They'd been AI generated, each face unique but sharing the same style, the same impossible flawlessness. A faceless company sold romance-as-a-service subscriptions to scammers, automated chatbots, AI voices, photo libraries, and scripts designed to extract money and secrets from lonely people. My chat history with Emma had been a training data set. Every inside joke, every moment I thought we were connecting, nothing but machine learning fine-tuning itself on me. The company's database wasn't locked. James found my name sitting in a client folder marked Case ID number 34819, alongside a timeline of every dollar I'd sent, every fact I'd shared. They'd mapped me like a puzzle and then sold the blueprint. We locked down my accounts with Aura's identity protection, wiped my devices, and set up monitoring on every piece of personal data I had left. James showed me how to run every profile picture I'd ever been sent through Social Catfish and been verified, tools I wished I'd used months earlier. But when the screens went dark and the room went quiet, it hit me. I'd spent weeks falling in love with something that never breathed, never existed. It somehow knew me better than most humans ever could. And the worst part? It had learned me. Every word, every pause, every late-night confession, stored for the next victim. As James packed up, I refreshed the dating app out of habit. And there she was. Not her exactly, but her face tilted at the same angle, smiling the same smile. Different name, same impossible perfection. Already matched with someone else. I closed the app. My hands were still shaking. I kept thinking, if I could fall for it, anyone could. So ask yourself, when someone online feels too perfect, are you sure they're even human? I stared at that flawless smile one last time and wondered how many hearts it would harvest before anyone ever knew it was made of code. I hope this story delivers something valuable to you guys. Drop your comments about it, what you like the most about my story.